The Nebraska Cornhuskers host the Michigan State Spartans on October 4th, 2025, for a Big Ten Conference matchup at their home venue in Lincoln. Nebraska's record stands at 3-1 overall and 0-1 in conference play. Michigan State's record is 3-1 overall and 0-1 in conference play. Nebraska suffered a 30-27 defeat to Michigan in Week 4. The team then observed a bye week in Week 5. The game is set to begin at 3 p.m. Central Time. Historically, Nebraska has triumphed in 9 encounters and fallen in 4 against Michigan State. The most recent 5 matchups have been resolved by a cumulative margin of 15 points. Current betting odds from FanDuel Sportsbook list Nebraska as an 11.5-point favorite. The over-under for total points is set at 48.5. Nebraska has a 2-0 record against the spread this season. Michigan State has a 1-3 record against the spread this season. 3 of Nebraska's 4 games and 3 of Michigan State's 4 games have surpassed the total points line. Nebraska's campaign has included 3 victories and 1 loss. The season opened with a 20-17 win over Cincinnati on August 28, 2025 at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri, secured by a critical late interception. Cincinnati currently holds a 3-1 record, with successes against Bowling Green, Northwestern State, and Kansas, indicating a competitive edge beyond initial expectations. Nebraska followed with a decisive 68-0 triumph over Akron on September 6, 2025, and a 59-7 rout of Houston Christian on September 13, 2025, both on their home field, peaking at 728 total yards against Akron. The Michigan game on September 20, 2025, exposed weaknesses, as the Wolverines amassed 286 rushing yards and recorded 7 sacks on the quarterback. Nebraska's ground game managed only 43 yards, but mounted a late effort to narrow the score. The Week 5 provided a break, yet Nebraska's historical performance post-bye raises red flags. The team has dropped 4 straight games following a bye, with losses to Northwestern in 2021, Purdue in 2022, and additional setbacks tracing back to 2019. The last post-bye victory came against Rutgers in 2017 with a 38-17 score. This trend, dubbed the bye week curse by observers, has intensified scrutiny after the Michigan setback, potentially disrupting momentum with extra preparation time. Nebraska's ongoing 28-game losing streak against AP Top 25 opponents, last broken by a 37-29 win over number 22 Oregon in 2016, adds to the pressure. Offensively, quarterback Dylan Raiola has been a constant starter this season. He has completed 102 of 135 pass attempts for 1,137 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 1 interception over 4 games, achieving a 75.6% completion rate. Against Cincinnati, he threw for 243 yards and 2 touchdowns, while against Michigan, he managed 308 yards and 3 touchdowns. The team averages 40.5 points per game. The offensive line, featuring 4 returning starters from 2024, allowed 7 sacks against Michigan. The rushing attack averaged 3.8 yards per carry in that game, with a 70% red zone touchdown conversion rate this year. Defensively, Nebraska permits 249 yards per game, placing them in the top 15 nationally, and restricts passing yards to 75.8 per game, leading the nation. The unit has generated 10 turnovers, tying for 5th in the Big Ten Conference. They rank 23rd in ESPN's defensive efficiency and 42nd in Pro Football Focus overall defense grades, with a tackling grade of 84.9, a coverage grade of 89.7, a pass rush grade of 68.8, and a run defense grade of 76.8. However, the defense conceded 286 rushing yards to Michigan, highlighting a vulnerability that Michigan State's quarterback Aiden Childs could exploit. Childs has completed 68.6% of his passes for 868 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 1 interception, adding 215 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns, ranking 25th nationally in total quarterback rating. Michigan State's passing defense allows 263.5 passing yards per game, ranking 117th nationally. and permits a 67.6% completion rate to opponents, placing 119th. They surrendered 312 passing yards in a 45-31 loss to Southern California on September 20th, 2025. The defense allows 32 points per game. The special teams unit excels, ranking in the top 20 for net punting average, top 15 for kickoff return average, and top 25 for punt return average. Offensively, Michigan State averages 374 total yards and 28.5 points per game, with a season-high 45 points in one contest. Matt Rule, in his third season as Nebraska's head coach, faces significant criticism for his management style. His overall record at Nebraska is 12-13 entering this game, and while his teams have consistently matched or exceeded prior season win totals across 9 college head coaching stints, his approach has drawn ire. Rule is widely regarded as a micromanager, often delving into minute details of play calling and player positioning, which some argue stifles on-field adaptability. This overinvolvement was evident during the bye week, where he focused intensely on technical adjustments for Michigan State, potentially overcomplicating strategies. His tenure at Temple, 20-38 from 2013 to 2016, and Baylor, 29-10 from 2017 to 2019, showed early promise but later faltered, a pattern critics link to excessive control. At the Carolina Panthers, 11-27 from 2020 to 2022, similar critiques emerged regarding his hands-on approach disrupting team cohesion. His $74 million, 8-year contract signed on November 26, 2022, amplifies expectations, yet his game day decisions, such as conservative fourth down calls, have been called out as indecisive. Rule's coaching staff, including assistants, exacerbates these issues with an over-reliance on coach speak and football buzzwords. Post-game press conferences are filled with jargon like execution windows, synergy in the trenches, and process-driven outcomes, which fans and analysts find hollow given the team's 5-7 projected finish. This verbosity often masks strategic shortcomings, such as the inability to adjust against Michigan's run game. The staff's animated bravado, seen in sideline outbursts and exaggerated celebrations, further alienate supporters, suggesting overcompensation for a lack of tangible success. Rule's tendency to micromanage extends to practice routines, where reports indicate he personally oversees drills, potentially undermining coordinators' autonomy. This hands-on style, combined with buzzword-heavy rhetoric, has led to perceptions of a coaching group more focused on image than results, especially with challenging games ahead at Maryland, Northwestern, Indiana, UCLA, Penn State, USC, Wisconsin, and Iowa. Nebraska is projected to conclude the season with a 5-7 record, with at least 2 losses attributed to coaching decisions based on historical trends in close contests. Fan predictions lean toward 9 or 10 wins, reflecting optimism not fully supported by the schedule's difficulty. The current matchup is considered winnable, but coaching tendencies may reduce the margin of victory. Betting projections indicate Nebraska will win 31-20, but fail to cover the 11.5-point spread, with Michigan State likely staying within a touchdown. The total is expected to exceed 48.5, as both teams are anticipated to surpass their scoring averages. Nebraska holds a 75.4% win probability per game simulations. The run defense faces a test against Michigan State's rushing attack, while the offensive line must contend with the Spartans' front seven. Red zone efficiency will be crucial for Nebraska's success. Weather conditions at the game site for the 3 p.m. Central Time kickoff on October 4th, 2025, include partly cloudy skies, a temperature of 62 degrees Fahrenheit, south winds at 8 miles per hour, and a 10% chance of precipitation. The contest will be televised on FS1, with streaming available via the Fox Sports app and Fubo. Audio coverage is provided by the Huskers radio network on 1499.3 FM in Lincoln, or nationally via SiriusXM Channel 84 for Nebraska. This game represents a critical test for Nebraska, as the team seeks to break a 4-game post-bye losing streak that has plagued recent seasons. The matchup against Michigan State hinges on overcoming defensive vulnerabilities exposed by Michigan's 286 rushing yards, while leveraging quarterback Dylan Raiola's 1,137 passing yards and 11 touchdowns. However, head coach Matt Rule's micromanaging tendencies, evident in his detailed bye-week preparations, and the staff's reliance on hollow coach speak could undermine the effort. With a 12-13 record under Rule, the coaching staff's animated bravado and strategic overcomplication risk a close outcome, despite Nebraska's 75.4% win probability. Fans hope for a decisive victory to shift momentum, but the bye-week curse and coaching critiques suggest a tight battle ahead.